Man hanging upside down. I have a student of mine named Melissa Rojas was in the Philippines doing research and activist work, studying enforced disappearances there. And she herself was abducted and tortured by the Philippine military. She was surfaced 3 days later, came back to the United States, is now suing the Philippine government. In an email to the community of Kundiman, Asian American poets, there was one line in her email that stuck out, and in that line, she said, "I never knew the body could bend so many ways." Man hanging upside down. Here is a man hanging upside down from a makeshift cross. No credible witness can seem to tell us his name or where he comes from. Let the record show he did lie in at least 7 dozen bits until the local birds plucked his scraps from the river. They carried first an elbow, then a toe, then half a skull, and so on, piecing the body together again incorrectly. Left arm for right, an eye for a thumb, a moonlight for knees, until he hung again from the cross he was nailed to in the first place at the intersection of Jordan and faith. And truth be told, few of us notice how often those ragtag blackbirds have come to squawk at every window in town. Who is to say if this man hanging upside down was corrupt or loved? Only that some birds set themselves in the middle of the night to the aerial miracle of silt-made flesh. A crew of winged scoundrels, some half-mute, half-blind, that plucked the body's remnants from muddy banks, and at the crossroads of faith and truth be told, reassembled the figure of a man who must surely ache, the way he strains to turn his gaze away from so many nations at once. Let's read 2 more. Anybody know what the Bali song is? It's a butterfly knife. You know what a butterfly knife is,
yeah.
Right?
Oh, Bali song.
Bali song, right? So it's a Philippine weapon. It's a knife, but the handle is split in 2. And when you open it, it flips open, and it actually you can do flips and turns, and it looks like a butterfly, and it's in your hands. So this is an ode to the Bali song. Shank or cudgel? No. This angel body's wings are hinged to a deadly edge. Opens with a hand's simple flick, flutters round the knuckles and stops in the palm to touch keen steel to flesh and shush a bad man bloody. Though a kind man too will break open for good if reckless rage guide blade to bosom. Ah, cousin. Summer's child, forged in white-hot flame, carved from common mahogany, this sweet daughter of Batangas, goddess of small laughters, what work now calls her to hack a knot's bulk between 2 wrists? What cries summon her vast numbers to glide in nighttime migrations, whole battalions of such fine, wrought butterflies slicing the dark in low flight across dunes, ditches, and back roads. At the hands of warriors, she jumped a small arc so quick you can't catch her. She dizzy the sober geezer gentry, slash the right heel's tendon, lacerate the guardian's artery, run through the fat inner thigh. Strangers try and pry her from rest, but slit their very hands to bits. See, she'll mince the finger of one accustomed to guns. You can't fake it. She moonlight, she pirouette, she force an assassin's look into a victim's eyes. She whirl and juke, wet her body against stone. She slide. Look, someone always follows, not far behind, everywhere she flies. Delinda Undone. It's the last poem. After Cornelius Eady. And so, We've all been told to shut up, don't talk, they say, too fast, too loud, or for too long. Don't take too much time trying to tell the truth. But this is my work. To break out in the presence of strangers into laughter. To watch small children, for example, filled with the lucky gust a poem can ride into the near stillness of a room and dance. For that, I am always, as now, grateful. My father tells me in his seminary days, during the Japanese occupation, most of the priests who ran that school were German. The boys then were to speak only in Latin and would surely be slapped 3 Sundays back if heard speaking the language of my father's country, which is a beautiful country and a beautiful language, and which has a curious word for being so suddenly seized by affection, you clench every muscle from your eyelids to your toes, for wanting to hold a loved one tight, to squeeze one and kiss one so deep you place yourself and your beloved on the brink of physical harm. There's no word for this in English, no word for those small provinces of silence, or for the kind of love that will trouble that silence into music. My work is trying to find the very word rippling in my body, which is a woman's body, my mother's, and a man's body, my father's, and nowhere to be found in the languages that have conquered the lands of my ancestors. On the outskirts of every empire, there are man-made lakes large enough to receive with ease 100 villages worth of bones tossed into them. This is a fact. There are more than 7 million Ilocanos in the Philippines, maybe 1 million in diaspora. All of us at one time or another have been told to shut up, don't talk too loud, too slow, or for too long. In Saudi Arabia, in Madrid, in Tokyo, in Milan, on Bowery near the foot of First Street, we've been told this. Some of us have been famous liars. Ferdinand, for example, who married another liar, Imelda, and my grandfather, Capitan of the Barrio, who claimed to kick the shit bare-fisted and single-handedly out of 14 ruffians in the small barangay of Santo Tomas. Actually, he kicked the shit out of 5. 9 ran away. These are not lies. This is the truth. I'm not wealthy. I can't buy space and time on billboards or websites. The name I inherit doesn't part columns in the city's daily journal. My family comes from a long line of farmers. My cousins scrub their chopping blocks with salt. They shush the goats before they kill them. Thank you.
Alrighty, that was Patrick Rosal. He's the author of 2 full-length poetry collections, Uprock, Headspin, Scramble, and Dive, which won the Asian American Writers Workshop Members' Choice Award, and most recently, My American Kundaman, winner of the Book Award in Poetry from the Association of Asian American Studies. His chapbook, Uncommon Denominators, won the Palanquin Poetry Series Award from the University of South Carolina, Aiken. His poems and essays are forthcoming or have been published widely in journals and anthologies, including Harvard Review, Indiana Review, Ninth Letter, North American Review, I'm going to butcher this, Pindley Buzz, Black, if anyone knows how to say that, go for it. Black Renaissance Noir, Brevity, Columbia, and the Beacon Best. His work has been honored by the annual Allen Ginsberg Awards, the James Hurst Poetry Prize, the Arts and Letters Prize, Best of the Net, among others. And the Typewriter Girls are paper free.